I'm Kylie from Texas, and you're watching College Volleyball Weekly.
I'm Kelly from Stanford Beach Volleyball, and you're watching or listening to College Volleyball Weekly Beach Top 20.
I'm Allie from Florida State, and you're watching College Volleyball Weekly Beach Top 20.
This is Dain Blanton from UCLA, and you're on College Volleyball Weekly. Go Bruins!
All right, good day, everyone. And I really didn't know what to call this episode because we're coming into the Olympics in the summer. Usually it'd be College Volleyball Weekly Beach Top 20 or Viral Volley Podcast because the Olympics are just weeks away. But I've been wanting to get a guest from USC on. It's not they've been dissing me. It's been super busy. I totally get that. And one of the athletes who's been kind enough to come on, of course, on screen, Ashley Pater, the 5'8" defender, but I'm sure she can probably block if you needed her to, from Bradenton, Florida. Ashley, thanks for coming on today.
Of course, Rob. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, it's been a phenomenal freshman year and a true freshman year at that for you, it seems like.
Oh, yeah. It's been quite an experience, but I loved every minute of it. I loved playing with all my partners that I got to play with, and just having Coach Dain and Coach Goose believe in me and trust me to put me in the lineup. It meant a lot. It really made my freshman year a memory I won't forget, for sure.
Well, we'll definitely get into that, but I wanted to get more into like your roots of playing, and then we're going to transition into what happened this last year. But I wanted to ask, how did you get into playing volleyball? And did you start on the indoor route, or did you go straight to the outdoor route?
Yeah, so my parents had my sister Brooke and I play every sport growing up just to see which one we would get a good feel with. So we played soccer, we even did ice skating. We just tried everything out just to see what we liked a lot. And then we got in indoor volleyball, I would say when I was probably 7, and I realized I really, really, really liked volleyball. And then I kind of just did whatever my sister did. So we both made a decision when she was 13 and I was 12 that let's just go full beach and let's just grind and see where it takes us. So we went full beach at, for me, 12 years old, and I've played ever since.
Insane. Well, I'm going to share a little memory with you. I probably didn't even realize it, but working the big July months here in Southern California, Hermosa, Manhattan, Santa Monica were the craziest places to be. And that's where you saw a lot of the top players. And at the time I was doing play-by-play for one of the broadcast companies, and I kept coming across your name.
Really?
In the medal round matches. So I knew that there was a lot of talent. And I knew between you and your sister, you guys are always top 3 or with podium finishes. At what point did you guys or gals commit to hardcore beach? You said that you did right around 12 or 13, but I mean, with this success, it seemed like it would be a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, after playing with Brooke for a couple years in beach, I mean, we did play beach volleyball since we were 10 or something, but we didn't actually fully commit until we were 12 to go full. But I would say around 13 years old, that's when I found my partner, Jordan Boulware, and she's committed to FSU, but we played on all the 14U nationals together, and we ended up doing really, really well in them. And ever since then, I was like, now this is what I want to do, and I want to take it as far as I can with it. So I think that summer really, really, really changed my mindset that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Well, it's even crazier. I believe I remember Jordan, at least at the time when I saw you two playing together in juniors, you were right around the same height. And I'm like, who's going to block? Who's going to hit? Who's going to defend? But you guys are both such high flyers, even at the level, your skill set was at such a different level than anyone else you're playing. What do you attribute the development of your skills to at that young age?
Obviously we had amazing coaches. We couldn't actually practice together because she's up in Tallahassee and I live in Sarasota, Florida. So we would just meet up for tournaments, but we knew how hard each other worked. So we trusted each other that we would be ready to go for the tournaments. But, I mean, I have to thank my OG coaches, Coach Megan Wallen and Joyce and Bob Parker. They worked with my sister and I when we were, I think, 9 or 10 years old, and they put up with all my nonsense because it's just it's hard to get good at this sport. So they really helped me mentally and got me a lot better. So those are my OG coaches, but I definitely got to thank Coach Pre and Josh Davis a lot for helping me when I was a junior in high school, getting recruited and stuff.
Just Coach Pre had a new program after finishing 1 year as a head coach. Is it UNF? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I think it's USF.
USF. There you go.
Yes, South
She's
Florida.
gonna shoot
Yeah.
me next time I see her in Florida.
It's okay. She won't hear you. She just had a baby. It's so cute.
Oh gosh, after her first season of coaching as a baby.
I know. I'm happy for her.
Well, so the area you're from, and I know just from working the USAV Beach Championships, but it is talent rich in all of Florida, it seems like. And there's always some intense competition. You can just find
Mhm.
at any beach around there. But were you traveling all over the state to compete?
During my juniors,
Yeah.
yes, I traveled everywhere. Probably almost every state, to be honest, that has a beach, but obviously other parts like sorry, um, other parts that also don't have a beach. I would go there as well, like Arizona. I went there a lot, but I did the Fab 50 program. So
Mhm.
they did a lot of tournaments across the country, and I was committed with them for a solid 2 years. So I went to every tournament. So it was a really cool program. It had the best of the best juniors, and we would all compete almost every weekend. So it was a cool experience.
Yeah. Well, let me follow up because you did mention your sister who's at University of Tampa, but she had a
Yes.
great amount of influence on your play. But and did you guys really push each other hard from a healthy standpoint, or was it an unhealthy standpoint being
When
siblings?
we first started playing with each other, it went great, but obviously sisters fight, and we're super super close now. But I think playing beach volleyball with each other and committing 24/7 to workouts, practices together, it wasn't for us. We weren't really on the same level because Brooke loves volleyball, but she also academics are up here for her, and she's huge on just like school, and then athletics are like here, and for me it's
Mm.
probably athletics are a little more important for me, so we just had different goals, so slowly we started to drift off, but she still helps me mentally and kicks my butt every day to make sure I'm working out, so I appreciate her for that.
Well, she still has a few years left at Tampa.
Yeah, so
Um,
she's a two-peat D2 national champion. So that's amazing. But she actually just graduated from
oh
Tampa
gosh,
early. Yeah, so she graduated in 2 years, and she's gonna head up to Georgetown for her master's for 1 year.
no indoor ball for
Nothing. She will just go for academics.
her? Well, let's look at some of the stuff. I actually did some research on you. It's so cool seeing what the local press is saying. But it's, the headline I saw is former East County high school athletes excel at the next level. And what's there? You're the lead picture and the lead
Oh, really?
lead paragraph.
Aw.
You haven't even seen it yet.
I don't think I have, to be honest.
Well, one of
That's
the
sick.
quotes that stuck out, it said that obviously people go to programs and the goal is to get to the national championships. Whereas for USC, it's to win the national championship
Yeah.
back to back to back to back. So in knowing that you had committed to USC, did you feel any kind of burden or did you feel like a certain pressure to keep that mystique going or
Yeah,
tradition?
I felt it more as a challenge and a goal that I just wanted to be a part of it. It's like seeing them obviously win for the third time, knowing that I will be there in 2 months. I was like, wow. I didn't think of it as pressure. I felt of it more as a challenge and something that I really want to be a part of. Like once you see it, once the last point finishes and you see everyone run into a pit, like you want to be a part of that. Like that is
Mhm.
something that I just imagine previously going into college, just it was an image in my brain, and I would rewatch that video of the three-peat win a lot during college. Just it made me work harder, and it made me really really want it at practices, and then it's just so surreal now that I was in that pit and now I get to imagine it with actually living it.
That's awesome. Well, but let me ask you this. I kind of jumped a little too far forward, but what was your reaction when you received the offer letter from Coach Dain to
Yeah.
go to USC?
I mean, first off, I felt super honored. I really appreciated that Dane reached out to me. I mean, our phone call went amazing. He made me feel so wanted and appreciated, which was huge for me. And it made USC immediately go to one of my top choices just based off of how much respect and like love he showed towards me, which meant a lot. So I immediately took an official visit out there because originally going into recruiting, I wanted to have a very open mindset, but I was kind of skeptical of going to California. I didn't know if I really wanted to commit going across the country yet. So I genuinely I want to go an open mind and just see how the phone calls go. And having Dane just like show that much like want towards me, it made me feel really included, and so that was a big factor for me. So I went out toward the campus. I ended up loving the campus, so it was a no brainer.
Right on. Well, it's interesting, even watching during your juniors years, when it got down to the quarterfinals, semis, and finals, how many D1 coaches were hovering around your court.
It's always cool having that happen for sure. A lot of pressure, but we love that.
I know there obviously were 3 other athletes, but I mean, you
Yeah.
can just tell who people are watching.
Aw, thank you.
So at the time of your commitment, USC was only, I say only, a 2-time national champion. As a senior, they got number 3.
Yeah.
Man, what were your thoughts knowing that you're going to be heading into that kind of a program with such a tradition? And we kind of asked that before, but I mean, now that you've committed, you're like, oh, wow, what does that mean now?
I mean, I was just so happy to have the experience with all the fifth years and seniors there. Like knowing we had 5 transfers come in that are going to be fifth years, and then we had the Norris twins, Delaney Maple, and Megan Kraft. I was like, wow, I'm literally going to learn from the best of the best. And every practice, I was literally surrounded by the best of the best, and it made my mentality and my physical game so much stronger. And I've learned so much from the Norse twins and Delaney and Megan. Like they've taught me so much, and I'm so grateful for all the memories and tips that I will never forget from them. So going in to freshman year, I was just really excited because I know I was about to excel a lot because of their knowledge for the game.
Right. Wow. Well, I mean, that is a talented group, and I'm sure that the alumni were stopping by as well between Julia Scholes and Haley
Oh yeah.
Allward, and
We
I don't know,
had
well,
April
Tina's
and
out of the
Alex.
country.
I know we had April and Alex train sometimes at our court. I was like, whoa, this is cool.
Did you get blocked by any of them?
I didn't get to play them, thank goodness. Or I totally would have.
Well, let's go to now your first year. It's crazy how quickly that went from
I
you
know.
being a high school senior and then into that your senior club or your graduation club season, and then now to USC.
Yeah.
But talk about a phenomenal year 1 for a freshman. You went 28-4 in duels. In the threes, which you only got 1 opportunity, you're undefeated at 1-0. It's a good place to leave that.
Oh yeah.
At the fours, you're 23-2, and the fives are 4-2. At what point of the season did you realize that you're going to be one of the people that the team or the pairs, or be part of the pairs that the team's be looking to get those wins?
My teammates have always really have a lot of respect for me, which I appreciate. They always have my back, and everyone on the team, we all respect each other and we're always there for each other. So going into every tournament, I knew that they trusted me, and same for me. I trusted them equally as much. So I feel like everyone respected each other and knew, hey, I trust you to win. Just go play your game and you're going to win. So I feel like the trust was there for all of the games, but yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, it just really happy with how the performance went, and my partners throughout this whole year have been ballers, and I've really gotten to know each and every one of them. And well, I guess I only played with 3, but all 3 of them were just amazing, and I really, really am grateful for all the opportunities that Dane and Goose gave me with them.
What's crazy with the pairs that you were with, I had to go break this down even more, but you played with Maddie White and Grace Seitz, which this is the irony. You went 12-1 with both of them. So 12-1 with Grace, 12-1 with Maddie.
Oh yeah.
Because I was going, gosh, there's no way that you didn't get a top flight award. And I realized you had to play in 15 duels together, and you only played in 13. But you have easily been statistically, because he had to win 75% of your matches in that top flight category, but it just shows that you were able to adapt to 3 partners this season and be equally successful. But I mean, when you look at that, I mean, how do you feel about your development in the game?
I mean, I'm very happy with how the season went. I couldn't have asked for great. I mean, Grace Sykes, she was a great mentor for me, and then Maddie White, she's literally unreal. Her skills are just. I mean, I can't even fathom how amazing she is as an athlete. And then Ansley Riddell, she is literally the best person ever, super sweet. So all 3 of them really helped push me to make my game get to the best I could be, so I could really work hard and show off my skills every single game. So I feel like, and obviously our coaches on our court, I mean, Coach Goose and Coach Dain, they have been amazing. And I was lucky enough to have Coach Goose during Gulf Shores, and he helped Grace Sites and I so much. So I love that guy.
Well, you even had Molly Phillips on one, I believe 1 or 2 matches together, but
I do remember that. Yeah.
You're playing with probably one of the top indoor players, back-to-back national champion.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Here you are, a freshman from Florida.
Oh my gosh, I know. I mean, she's super tall. So playing against her block, I was like, wow, this is fun. So she's a baller. I mean, my boyfriend Caleb, he plays indoor, and he was like, everyone knows who Molly Phillips was. So they're just like, wow, you got to play with Molly. I was like, yep.
But because I'm pumping the men's game too, that would be Caleb Blanchett.
Yes, yeah.
USC setter, good hands. I'll prop him up big time.
Yes, he had a really good freshman year as well.
Well, so I've got to ask you this, because I mean, there was a change made in your pair in the 4s. You went from Maddie to Grace, but yeah, I did, me as the outsider, I'm looking, well, she's 12-1. Why would you make that change going towards the postseason?
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, Dain and Goose, they're smart guys. They know what they're doing. Everyone on the team trusts them. I mean, even though Maddie White and I were doing really good, and Grace and Chris were doing really good, Dain and Goose just had a bigger picture, and then they saw what they wanted it to be. And even though it was a really late switch up, I mean, clearly worked out, and that's why they're the best coaches there is. So they're good for us.
Speaks to the depth of the talent pool, but just knowing, even because a lot of it, every school's got the talent, but I think the chemistry factor is what those guys have dialed in. Because anyone can throw a bunch of like these top, 3A, 5A players in there, and it's not going to work out because of the chemistry. But I felt like you were able to adapt, at least from the chemistry standpoint, and work with whomever you played with.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, our team culture is, personally, obviously I'm a freshman, so I haven't experienced any other type of team culture, but from the 5 transfers coming in, they said that this is by far the best team culture they've ever had this year. And I truly believe it, because everyone supported each other, and we made sure off the court we would spend just as much time with each other, and we really got to know each and every individual. So regardless who they put me on the court with, I knew that we would bond and fit each other well.
Oh, great. I was going to ask you, we alluded to it earlier, but for USC, obviously the goal is not only to go to Gulf Shores, but to actually win the national championship. But I mean, once you knew you got the auto bid to go in, or the auto berth, you're going to be pursuing that route. But as a freshman, that's got to be pressure. I mean,
yeah, I won't lie. The bus ride, or the flight and then the bus ride to Gulf Shores, I was so nervous. I was shaking. I had to talk to the Norse twins. I was like, I'm nervous, guys. Like, so I talked to them before the finals too, because I was like, I'm really nervous right now, and they helped calm me down. Like, they are mental pros, and they've been in high pressure situations all the time. So I obviously had to go to them, and they gave me some really good advice. And I will never forget what Nicole North said after we won the Pac-12 championships. She's like, you can be a Pac-12 champion for a day, but you're a national champion for life. And that's literally what she said 5 hours after we just won Pac-12. I was like, all right, next thing, scratch that. We're going straight. And I mean, everyone flipped their gear and we were all set for the Natties. And I think that was the best thing she could say because, yeah, the feeling of winning a Pac-12 is amazing, but we have bigger plans and we have to switch our mindset. We can worry about that later, but our eyes are on the Natties, and that was what we were all grinding for.
Yeah, you talk about the Norris sisters, which I mean, no one would not to downplay their role on the team, but they obviously were leaders because they've been there for the 4 years, and
Oh yeah.
but they carry an immense amount of volley IQ. And how do you even catch everything that they know? Because those girls are so committed to the game, and they study it, they play it, they strategize. But I mean, it's a lot to take in for a career.
Oh yeah, they are by far the best technical skills I've ever seen. I mean, everything they do on the court is so technical, even when it comes to serving and running up to the net or just passing or just pulling. Everything they do has so much intention into it, and it's not even out in the game. They do it every single practice, and it is so inspiring. And literally, I've learned so much from them. They've helped my serve receive increase so much just because they know so much knowledge. They have so much feedback to give. And if you're willing to get it, I mean, they really they're great people, and they're willing to give you all the information you need. And I learned a lot from them. So I'm really grateful for them, and I'm very bummed that they're not going to be here.
Well, that they're leaving it in good hands with a lot of newer girls, so they've got to carry on the tradition.
Yes, we learn from the best. So yeah.
Well, let's continue our discussion about Gulf Shores. You and Grace pretty much dominated your opponents in Gulf Shores. Let's just call it frank. Didn't drop any sets. But then in the national championship match, you faced off against UCLA's fours of Jaden Whitmarsh and Tessa Van Winkle, with whom you'd split the season with. And at this point, you just dropped that match the week prior, or 2 weeks prior, at the Pac-12 championships. Did you and Grace have any concerns about going to that matchup?
You know, we obviously they are such a good pair, and they are. I mean, they're unreal. They're so good. I mean, regardless win or lose, it's gonna be a tight game. It's 50-50. I feel like that pair is so good. So I knew that game would be beyond close, and I knew it was gonna be a hard one. So mentally, I just prepared myself. Let's listen to some music to calm me down. But Grace and I, we didn't want to overthink it. I mean, we played them obviously 3 or 4 times before that, so we already had like a good strategy going into it. So we just wanted to stay calm and just talk to other people the night before, and just worry about other things so we don't get too nervous about the game. But obviously, as you could tell, it was a dogfight out there. I mean, they are so good. And I mean, Jaden's defense, the way she reads me, it's just I really haven't played anything like it before. And she's super, super smart. And then Tessa obviously puts up an amazing block. So I knew it was going to be a really good game. And I was really happy that I had Grace by my side. So she helped pull me through and ended up closing it. So it was awesome.
Well, she has those years of experience from the Cal to USC days. So
oh yeah,
she has a few matches and duels under her belt. Now, you look at the score of that championship match in Gulf Shores, just 3-1, but it's so misleading because if anyone's watching all the courts, I mean, if anyone even knows the slightest bit about the USC UCLA rivalry, every single girl is going for blood. Friends off the court, but on the court, different story.
Oh yeah.
So once a dual clinching point dropped, what were the collective emotions of first a team, then for you as a freshman?
Was in my game or
just in general, what was the collective emotions of the entire team? We'll start with that first. Yeah.
Cool.
Once the point dropped.
I mean, we have our box people, Zoe Mitchell and Bailey Showalter. They stay at our court the whole time, no matter what. So they were there the whole game, just supporting Grace and I the whole time. Like you could hear them. They were just hyping us up. And I really, really, really am so grateful that they were there. I mean, that game was really mentally hard for me, just being down in the first set. I mean, being up in the first set and ended up losing that set, and starting down 8-4, I think it was, in the second set. I mean, that's really mentally hard to get yourself back into it and say, we can still win this. So having their support and Grace by me, I mean, we got it done. So I was really thankful for them. And after we won, I obviously just felt so much relief, and I hugged Grace, ran over, and Zoe's over here crying because of how happy she was. I mean, she's an amazing she's my roommate as well. We'll be roommates in college, but yeah, she just so obviously just seeing how proud my team was of me, it meant a lot, and it made me feel very, very good and complete. So glad I can make them proud.
Well, it was such a great ending for you and the 2024 Trojan team. But, the other question I had for you, and you were one of only two freshmen on your squad to get time for the national championships in that run. But, I mean, it has to be somewhat special to you that you were a first year on that team and continuing on getting that fourth national championship.
Oh yeah, I mean our team was stacked this year. I mean, obviously I know 10 could only play, but all 21 deserved to play. It was crazy just how stacked our team was, and fighting for a spot over fall was really hard just because there's such good defenders like Olivia Bakos, Maven Thomas, obviously just really good defenders I'm competing for a spot with, and just being able to prove to Dane and Goose that they can trust me and put me in a lineup where I can win. It really meant a lot, and it just shows that hard work pays off. So and trusting the process as well, because obviously I didn't start right at fours. I had to trust the process throughout the whole season, which Dane was getting on me at first because the first two matches I ever played in college was on the fives with Ansley Riddell, and I lost my first two matches ever of college. I was like, oh my God, I guess college isn't for me. Like I'm just not good in college. I was freaking out, and the coaches helped calm me down and get me through it, and then slowly made my way back up to the lineup again, and then I finally played volleyball. So
Well, I've got to put it into context for our viewers and listeners. You guys went to a gauntlet of a tournament to start off the season because your loss was
it was not
with
easy. It was
Natalie
not
Witkowski
easy.
and Ensley Alden, who are
Yeah.
ABCA top flight and were on fire pretty much the whole
Amazing
season.
pair. Yes.
Then Maya Harvey and Clara Stoll of Stanford, who Stanford had their history-making season. So
Oh yeah.
I don't
Also
think
a
those
great
two
pair.
losses are that big of a
Yeah.
smudge on
It
your
wasn't
career.
it wasn't just some light team. They were both
Yeah.
really good teams. So obviously, I mean, 0-2, it does suck, but knowing who I played against, it's fair. It's fair.
And then, of course, you just went on the run for the rest of the season with the three other different partners because they switched it up after that. You went with Molly against Concordia or CUI, and
Yes.
then back to Ainsley against Utah, and of course, and Washington, Arizona. I guess that was the Pac-12 North South.
Yes, I think so.
So, I mean, and the Pac-12 is the most competitive conference in beach volleyball. So.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's a good
breaks.
conference. It's a good conference.
Well, now that the season has concluded, in hindsight, what are some of your key takeaways? What are some of your favorite memories that happened this last season?
Favorite memories, obviously Gulf Shores, nothing can top that. But just traveling every weekend, we got to travel, just being with the team and getting closer every single day with them. I mean, it was super cool just to wear USC and represent them, walking through the airports and going to the courts, just repping USC. I mean, getting to wear that jersey, I mean, it's just an experience that only a few amount of girls get to do. I mean, get to live with, and it's just I'll never forget it. I mean, I have 3 more years left of it, but I mean, I wish I would have more because it's just such a cool feeling.
Well, let's look to next season. Obviously a few moves have already occurred here in the off season, and some pretty big shifts, some big pickups for USC and other schools. But what do you think of the play and how it's evolved just within the last, let's say, 2 or 3 years? Because it just seems the level of play has just gone up 2-3 levels because of the training at the juniors levels. And I think you're in that group of people that was receiving really good training.
Yeah, I mean, the coaches we have are just so smart. We have so many good coaches, but I also think it's that a lot of the indoor girls are starting to transfer to beach earlier. Like I did start when I was 12, but I tell that to a lot of people, and everyone's just like, how'd you start so early? Because that was so unheard of during my age. So I feel like a lot of girls coming up are starting to play beach volleyball earlier and getting to have more practice and skills and just getting to be their full potential and being ready for college. So I think starting early is such a fair advantage. And I mean, I feel like a lot of the girls coming up are starting to do that now.
Yeah. And what does your off season look like now? I mean, you obviously have gone home, but are you resting, training? How are you developing?
Yeah, no, I'm stubborn. I can't rest. I have to have tournaments over the summer. So after our tournament, after Gulf Shores May 5th, I had Madison Gellner, the other freshman I started. Her and I played in the collegiate trials 6 days later, or I mean a local tournament 6 days later, and then collegiate trials at the end of May. And then I just played in a tournament with Sarah Wood recently. And then I'm actually flying to Virginia tomorrow for an AVP Next Virginia tournament. And then I'm going to also do Denver and Wapaka. And hopefully, if we win this tournament, Virginia Beach AVP with Sarah and Manhattan. So no rest.
You're hanging with Sarah the whole time as a partner.
Yes. I committed with Sarah Wood this whole summer. So I'm super excited. I love her so much. So it's going to be fun. I cannot wait.
Oh, I can't wait to track that and see how you guys do.
Oh, yeah.
Looking on Volleyball Life, and then hopefully see on the AVP page in the main draw.
That's the goal. That's the goal. We had a good run last year, so we're hoping to do it again.
Well, I know with it being summer, 3 of the 4 women representing the USA in beach volleyball are SC alum, but yet in Latvia, you've got 4 USC alum playing in the Olympics. Who do you pull for?
Got to pull for all of them. Have to pull for all of them. I mean, I just know how hard each and every one of them works. So I just hope everyone plays their best game. That's what I want. But obviously I know Coach Goose is coaching Kelly and Sarah. So I maybe hope that they do a little better.
And for those of you watching and listening, it's Sarah Hughes, Kelly Chang, and Tina Gradina of Latvia who are on the women's side that'll be playing, as well as April. Actually, April's going to be back in the AVP, so I've been watching that. So that's been really cool.
Yeah.
So, Ashley, I cannot thank you enough for your time and for talking about this last season and the starts of your career, but I'm looking forward to a very fruitful and successful career at USC here, being that you just finished your first one. Whoa. And
I know.
So although everyone's rocking around with 4 national championship rings, at least you got one now.
At least I've won. I'm happy now.
Well, Ashley, I can't thank you enough for your time. I appreciate you jumping on. I'm still trying to figure out if this is going to be a College Volleyball Weekly Beach Top 20 or a Viral Volley podcast episode, but I appreciate you taking the time and chatting about your season here.
Of course. Thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to College Volleyball Weekly. Be sure to follow Rob Aspero at the Rob on the Mic on Instagram and at Rob on the Mic on Twitter.